for the multiple versions that will be used for RPM and DNF, and it's not ready yet. So there's nothing there to continue on. There were some interesting bugs happening on Python. I don't think anything is with the new releases, but it's all taken care of.
Yeah, it's being taken care of. Slowly but surely.
I have submitted. I got finally to this. I have submitted the fix for the partial fix, not a fix to the issue, but the thing we were talking about, the build details JSON containing the wrong value of the build of the base interpreter. It didn't solve, it doesn't solve the test, which I reported to be failing, but it does make the base interpreter contain the correct value, at least semantically. So it is an improvement. Victor looked at it and correctly said that it doesn't solve the issue, which it doesn't. I should have written that. And proposes some other improvements.
The free-running or debug build would override the build details JSON installed by the regular release build. Isn't that expected? Right, aren't you already building or at least installing the regular build last, so it overrides stuff?
It would definitely seem so. Let me just make sure about that. What's the order here?
I think the single one is specified in the pub,
so. So yeah, in Fedora we're building free threading debug, then the debug build, then free threading, and then optimized.
Right.
And that's how we install them. So the optimized, the last one, will be always the one with the installed file. And if you're sharing something, I don't see it.
Ah, I'm sharing with the world and not with you. Well, Victor is
Mhm.
probably a better authority than me on fixing Fedora, so I'll not merge this.
That's all right. I'm rereading the PEP and try to figure out mm, what's the motivation behind the creating of the file. And it definitely seems that if the file is created, the build details, it should contain the information about the interpreter, like the correct information. And there are some musts in the PEP.
It must contain information that is constant across all environments of the Python installation. What is the Python installation, though?
Yes, so it got me thinking, like, currently Fedora is shipping the free-threaded Python next to the regular one. There can be more Pythons. There can be only the free-threaded Python if someone decides to build only that one and use only that one. So at least for the main interpreters, I think the build details JSON should be somehow, like, there should be maybe more of those. Not sure about the debug builds. They don't serve the regular usage purpose.
Right.
So, like, semantically, it feels like this file should be somehow improved, and the maybe it should be created and somehow stored for each of the installations.
Yeah. This is. Was this even discussed with distros? Looks like this was a bit late to have this discussion.
I don't remember, but I possibly wouldn't foresee, even if I read the PEP before. Oh, there is discussion in the thread about it. Yes, there is.
Oh, well, this says the file must be installed in the platform independent standard library directory unless unfeasible due to technical limitations. Technical limitation being that it must only contain information that is constant across all environments, which you cannot do because you have release and debug versions sharing this directory. So by the letter of this PEP, you cannot put it there. But you may install it in additional locations and under a different name. So you should do that. The file should be available at the standard location, which you cannot do. This is a should, this is a must. So rename it.
Yeah, I see there are issues in Debian with the PEP that arose yesterday. So
So format. Base interpreter and path to the Python interpreter of the base installation. And this is not required, but must be present if the installation provides an interpreter executable. And this one differs between debug and release, so you cannot have a common one. Yeah, so to follow the current pep, rename it.
Okay, so there definitely seems to be the inconsistency with the test. At least there's testing the base interpreter and it fails in our case. It still fails with that change.
Right, the LD version. No, it should be the LD version there. What is the test?
The test is
This one, right? Yeah,
yeah.
that should be the LD version. And if we look at test builder details, test base interpreter. So this test tests the generate build details tool, not any installed result, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this should be fine with the change.
So it isn't. It isn't because the file for debug and non-debug builds is installed to the same.
Well, with the fix that you use LD version here, it should be fine, shouldn't it? Like the test should pass.
It won't, because the base interpreter will get generated more robustly for each of the installations, for each of the builds we are making, but the file is still installed to the standard location. So in the end, we are left with the optimized file for the optimized build of Python, which in Fedora is like the basic one.
Right, but this test doesn't test for that, does it?
we run it on the installed Python, and we run it deliberately on free-threaded Python, debug Python, optimized Python, and so on. Like we've got a CI on which we run the test suite of Python with each of the interpreters to make sure they all work. And this is not the issue of the build itself. It's the issue of the installed Python, like outside of the build environment.
Oh, I see. What? Huh, something. Oh, here it is. Ah, I see. This should be equal to real path of the value. And what is this installation is relocated? Where does that come from? Hmm. So how does the test fail again? So currently in Fedora you skip this test?
Yeah.
And that's the only one that fails?
Yes.
That's good. And this doesn't fix it.
Like it's a prerequisite for fixing it, provided that the file is installed in different locations for different build types, or somehow we'll rename it, or we can stop shipping it.
But
It's an improvement that we want to have.
doesn't this installation is relocated trigger?
So this should work. Hmm. We are patching sysconfig. Not sure that we're touching this. Oh, probably not. It seems new enough.
Installation was relocated, was added in at the end of January. It's been there for a while.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I guess ultimately skipping the test is the right thing to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest should be discussed somewhere.
If we've got one test already skipped in our sysconfig user install location changed. It just skips the test if RPM build root is not in environment because the test doesn't expect Fedora's paths.
Mm-hmm. Which which is concerning in a way because Felipe might depend on something that's tested. So let me reply here. So am I repeating something that's already been said here? I don't really want to get dragged into this conversation. Now, does this make sense?
This sentence, my reading, that is several interpreters share study. Doesn't make sense if you're... And further in the
Oh,
my head is spinning, but it makes sense. But it doesn't make sense. But it makes sense.
well, that I guess a single value of base interpreter isn't constant across all the environments. But the thing I'm not clear on is, are they still discussing what the PEP should say, or is it now set in stone and they're interpreting it? Here, since the PEP hasn't been marked as final yet, my inclination is to propose amending it to move the build details file to the platform dependent standard library directory on multi-arch installs. Which of course doesn't solve the problem with optimized and not optimized builds, right?
I'm afraid it doesn't, because
Right.
our directories, we don't hit the platform dependency.
So the Fedora, what's the difference again? Is it debug and not debug? That's the conflict.
Yeah, it's
And what's the platform
at
directory?
the moment without my fix, it's whatever because we always get a base interpreter of the main uh, of the base.
This is
It,
here's a lib64.
yes, it's there. Here's a lib64.
314. And debug. Where do you put math? Ah, right. So it's the same directory and it has the D here in the tags. Yeah, makes sense. In both places at once? Wow.
That's weird, but there are two architectures. So right now for free threaded build, you will get a value of base interpreter user bin Python 3.14.
I guess I don't need my standards reading glasses anymore. This is the actual issue and we don't need to nitpick the wording. Is Platlib the correct name? Yeah. There we go. Okay.
I think it still doesn't touch the issue of free threading file containing wrong base interpreter
Oh yeah,
body.
definitely.
That's the other
This is
thing.
the
That's
correct
just the thing.
fix.
Uh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
it's misleading for me to put the two different things in one issue, and yeah, it's like, I wouldn't expect an issue of adding a single file. It's so complicated.
Yeah, it's extremely complicated, and it's more complicated by the fact that the author of this pep doesn't know anything about Linux distros, apparently. I don't know if this was discussed with Linux distros.
What's the status of this pack? Is it accepted?
It's accepted,
Not
yes.
final. Okay. I really do not remember.
Well, Felipe says since the pep hasn't been marked as final yet, wants to still amend it.
I wonder, maybe we should be more vocal in general as downstream distributors. It was also a thing that happened with the documentation. We couldn't build it for some time because the latest docutils wasn't supported by Python. But when it moved to the latest docutils, it also moved to the latest Sphinx 9, which is just a few days old, which made the documentation from the last one dragging behind the whole pantheon of documentation packages for us in Fedora, the one that we can't really package yet. And people from Linux distributions asking for that were holding the castle of what we needed to work, answering to a proposed solution, just in the version to a lower one. So maybe somehow our use case is not such widely recognized as we sometimes think it is. Like the
Yeah,
inability to
that is
just in the version.
that is true.
All right, thank you for chiming in with that one. It kind of forms, we can see that even from this distance. Hmm.
Guess that's all I can do.
I don't see anybody from any Linux distribution chiming in the discussion before it was accepted. I see Steve from Microsoft. It's very much possible that we just hit it alongside Debian much later.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the problems. Distributions come later after everything's standardized, and the solution to that is follow along with when the papers are drafted and discussed, I guess.
I wonder whether, although it's just one thing I was missing a bit when I had my adventure with a PEP. It wasn't entirely clear to me who are all the stakeholders. Who are the people that should say something about it? I
Right.
think,
That's a good point. You should probably get in touch with Paul Moore. He's the PEP delegate for packaging.
mhm.
And yeah, so it should be his job to probably ping somebody from Linux distros if the PEP touches Linux distros. So just, well, since he has to read all of this anyway, just ask him to be pinged when something affects distros.
Well, yeah. I guess that's all we can do.
All he has to do is tell the PEP author to, make sure that you're involved. So it shouldn't be too much more work for him. It should be more work for the PEP author, but that's the point.
Sure. I wonder if there is like a PEP delegate checklist. If this PEP touches this, gather feedback from, I don't know, Mac packages, Windows packages, Linux packages,
Yeah.
container, whatever. It's the same way as there are like platforms that are supported to different. Of course, now looking at it.
Oh, Felipe contacted me on Discord saying, do you have a moment to talk about the PEP 739 issue? Would really appreciate an external point of view to make sure you're being reasonable and fair.
Maybe I just added more work on top of your file.
Yeah, so I just invited him to the video call. I think I want to stop the recording.
All right.
So this won't be entirely public because I don't have his permission. So, yeah, it'll stop if he joins. And maybe I should add you to the message. point of time anyway?